I want to tell you about a dog named Zoey. He was small, white and gray, with floppy ears and the most expressive face I've ever seen on any living creature. He was afraid of the world when I found him, afraid of people, afraid of being touched. And for 1 full year, I sat on the floor next to him and let him decide every single day whether or not he trusted me. He became my first love. He also became the reason this channel exists, because Zoey died of cancer, and I wasn't ready. I didn't know what I know now. I didn't have the tools. I didn't have the time. And I have spent every day since then making sure I will never be in that position again. This is Zoey's story. Welcome to Magic Coriolus. I'm Jeanette. If you've been following Lexi's journey, her diagnosis, her recovery, the protocol that eliminated her 3 tumors, you've heard me mention Zoey before, or not. Well, today I want you to properly meet him, because you can't understand why this channel exists until you understand who he was and what losing him taught me. So, from the beginning. Zoey came into my life when he was 4 years old. He had been abused by his previous owner. I don't know the full details of what happened to him. Animals don't get to tell you their stories, but the signs were written all over him. He had a damaged eye. His previous owner had hurt him badly enough to damage his eye. And beyond the physical damage, he was terrified. Not just nervous, the way some dogs are, terrified of people, of hands reaching towards him, of loud noises, of sudden movements. He flinched at kindness. He would bite me. Every chance I got to touch him, he would bite me. When you see a dog flinch at kindness, flinch at a gentle hand, at a soft voice, because kindness is something he's learned not to trust, that stays with you. I brought him home and I made a decision. I was not going to rush him. I was not going to grab him or force him or demand anything from him. I was going to sit on the floor every single day and let him come to me. On his terms, in his time. And I did. For a full year. Some days he would come a little closer. Some days he wouldn't move at all. Some days he would look at me from across the room, those beautiful, cautious eyes, and I would just sit there, quietly, patiently, saying without words, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to hurt you. You're safe. And one day, one completely ordinary day, he walked across the room and he put his head in my lap. I don't have words for what that felt like. to trust you anyway. That is one of the most profound things a living creature can give you. Zoey gave me that. And from that day forward, we were inseparable. The years with Zoey were good years. He blossomed in ways I hadn't dared hope for. The fear slowly softened. He started to play. He started to bark, loudly, confidently. All things he decided were beneath his dignity. He developed opinions, strong ones. He was funny. He was stubborn. He was deeply, completely, unshakably loyal to the people he had decided were his. I was his. He was mine. When Zoey was 8 years old, something went wrong with his spine. He deteriorated quickly. One day, Zoey was bouncing around, full of himself, and then suddenly he was struggling to walk. He was in pain. We rushed him to the vet. The diagnosis: a severely pinched nerve on his spine. The vet sat me down and said, without emergency service surgery, Zoey could be permanently paralyzed. The surgery cost $12,000. $12,000. You heard that right. I didn't hesitate though. I know that not everyone is in a position to make that call, and I want to acknowledge that. The financial reality of loving a sick animal is one of the cruelest parts of this. I have so much compassion for every person who has ever had to make an impossible choice because of money. But I was able to, and I did. Zoey had the surgery, and he came through. The recovery was long, and he had to relearn things. He needed help. He needed patience, and he had used up a fair bit of mine by then, but I found more. Eventually, he was Zoey again. Running, barking at nothing, sleeping in his spot, looking at me with those eyes. And I thought, we made it. He's going to be fine. We have more time. I thought we had so much more time. He was almost 12 years old when he got sick, and it happened so fast. One week he was Zoey. The next week, something was seriously wrong. By the time we understood what we were dealing with, it was cancer, and it had moved quickly. I want to be honest with you about something. I did not know then what I know now. I didn't know about turkey tail. I didn't know about medicinal mushrooms. I didn't know about the anti-cancer diet. I hadn't done the research. I hadn't found the studies. And even if I had, I'm not sure we'd have enough time. That is something I've had to learn to live with. Zoey died in 2014. He was almost 12. 8 years of trust, love, and loyalty. A spine surgery that gave us more time together, and then cancer. Too fast, too sudden. I held him, and I told him he was the best thing ever. And I told him I was sorry. And I told him that I loved him. Then he was gone. Grief after losing a dog is a specific kind of grief. People who haven't experienced it sometimes don't understand. They say things like, he was just a dog. Zoey was not just a dog. Zoey was a living creature who had been broken by cruelty, who chose against every instinct he'd been given to trust. He chose me. And when you've been chosen by something that fragile and that brave, losing it changes you. I spent a long time after Zoey just sitting with it. And then slowly, the grief started to turn into something else. Into questions, into research, into determination. What could I have done differently? What do I wish I had known? What is out there that vets don't always tell you about? I read everything I could find. I found the University of Pennsylvania studies. I found the research on turkey tail on Coriolus versicolor. I found the science on anti-cancer diets for dogs. I found integrative vets, oncology papers, supplement studies. I became, out of grief and love and stubbornness, someone who knew a great deal about fighting canine cancer. And then I rescued Lexi. And when Lexi was diagnosed with 3 cancerous tumors, I did more research. I thought I was ready, but I did the research all over again. Then I was ready. Not because I'm special, not because I'm a vet or a scientist, because Zoey taught me. Zoey's death taught me to be ready, to research, to fight, and to never be in that position again of standing in a vet's office with no tools, at no time, and nothing but love, which is everything and sometimes not enough. This channel is named Magic Coriolus. Coriolus versicolor. Turkey tail mushroom. The mushroom that was part of Lexi's recovery. But really, this channel is named after Zoey. Everything here is for him. If you're watching this because you lost a dog to cancer, I am so sorry. You're not alone. What you feel is real. What you carry is real. And if you're watching this because your dog is sick right now, please keep watching. Please subscribe. Everything on this channel exists because of Zoey. Every study I share, every protocol, every episode about mushrooms and diets and supplements, it all started with a gray and white Shih Tzu who was afraid of the world, who slowly, bravely decided to trust me, and who left me better and more determined than I was before I knew him. This one's for you, Zoey. Drop your dog's name in the comments, whether they're here or whether they're gone. Every single name matters here. Subscribe so you don't miss Lexi's story, the dog who lived because of what Zoey taught me. I'm Jeanette. Stay hopeful, keep fighting.